Welcome to the RIOT Podcast, day 3 without Nikki, day 3 with Hudson.
Yes.
Everything's going great. Actually, the entire system is falling apart. I'm sick. I'm back on gas station food. They are related, but not in the way you think they are. We're working on a coffee thing for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I think it sounds like fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe we need some coffee cake to go with it.
Well, that's a given.
Okay, well, we'll look into that, too. Let's see what else I got. Today in the podcast, Hudson, did you have a favorite moment from today's show?
My favorite moment. Let's see. We had some good discussion on movies.
Okay, there is some good movie discussion in here. We do talk Ready Player One, A Quiet Place, which is doing well on Rotten Tomatoes. We get into, you know what? I left the arena thing out. Is that what it's called?
Armada.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Well, you should have listened to the show.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You know what? Just like reading Armada, you're not missing anything by us talking about it.
Right.
Let's see. We also get into the Star Wars Denny's menu, some Reddit stuff, and how exactly do you get country music? We found out where it started. Someone should step in.
That is something.
Yeah. So, well, Hudson, you enjoy the you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.
I'm going to scrub this side of the room.
Yeah.
Because I'm really not wanting other people to get sick. I've touched as few things as possible, and I brought in this little Germ-X hand sanitizer.
All right.
Which I've tried to use a bunch this morning.
That only kills 99.99% of germs.
Man,
so.
Do you think the germs I have are in the 0.01?
They're in the 0.01.
Do you think I've got a 0.01 germ?
That's the kind of germs you have.
Dang it. All right. Well, nobody drink that stuff.
They're strong and resilient, resistant to that.
Man, they won't go away. Enjoy the podcast. Bye.
The worst of the riot. Proof that you're already living in that dark future dystopia. Radio U.
Nikki's on vacation. Hudson's still here.
Good day.
I'm still here. Cold is in full effect.
Yeah.
It's happening, man. It's happening.
I can hear it.
Yeah, it's great. My thing is, it's at night, I don't really like sleeping. I just like tensing every muscle in my body over and over again, but for brief periods.
Yeah.
So I was the best at that last night.
Last night was a dream for that, I'm sure.
Super cool. Really excited. And, the thing I don't understand is you do that enough and then you get a headache. And it's like, why are you being a headache? We're having a good time. I don't understand why you got to be like that. So... Man, I have had a cold, sinus infection, whatever. I counted. I've had 5 in the last 6 months. Or no,
wow.
Was it 5 or 4? There was August, but the August one took 2 rounds of antibiotics. Then I had a November one.
Okay.
I had a February one, and this one. So that's 4. 5 if you count the twofer as 2.
Right.
So it's been great. Really having a great time with it.
Yeah, you're on a streak is what you are.
Yes, that's what it is.
It's a good way to look at it.
And it's got me doing weird things. Not that weird, but I haven't stopped for breakfast. I've pretty much cut that out of my life. It's no, you make your own breakfast. We're not stopping for breakfast, whatever.
That's very mature of you.
And I'm just I'm trying to eat just a tiny bit better.
Yeah.
Not a lot better, just a little.
Yeah, but just eating at home definitely is a lot better than than anywhere you stop on the way to get breakfast.
And it's April now. I can tell you authoritatively, I have not had any food from a gas station since July of last year.
Wow.
And this morning, I stopped and got not 1, but 2 of these breakfast biscuit things.
Oh, no.
And I got them. I was excited. I ate them. And then after I ate them, I was like, what is going on? What are you doing? You can't eat these. It was nope, it's too late.
I'm surprised you didn't have that while you were eating them.
What, that feeling of regret?
Yeah, that feeling wow, this why did I stop for this?
Well,
I could have had anything. I had this.
No. Let me tell you something about breakfast options. Have you ever gone to a Duke and Duchess station?
Yes, but I've never actually eaten anything there.
All right, well, get ready to be disappointed, either in yourself or me or something. But they have these things called breakfast stuffers.
Okay.
They look like just a large muffin or something, and inside them is sausage, egg, and cheese. It's probably barely even qualifies as food.
Right.
It's delicious. It's so good. And again, I haven't had one in almost a year. And I mean, do I regret it? Absolutely. Did I enjoy it? Yep, I sure did. This is real.
Mornings are for coffee and contemplation.
Chief, she's
Coffee and contemplation.
And the Riot. Obviously. Radio U.
So, Hudson, where are you at on self-driving cars? You want a car to drive you to work?
I feel like I have a lot of qualms with that.
So you're not up, like if I said to you right now, Hudson, just forget it, let the robot drive. You're like, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
What if it was like Arnold in one of the Terminator movies? He, instead of it looking like a robot, it was a metal endoskeleton with like a fleshy exterior. Would you be like, well, okay, I'll let the fleshy exterior drive?
It's not really the look that is the problem for me.
I don't think so. I think you're wrong. I think if Arnold Schwarzenegger, but a Terminator, walked through the door, you would be like, okay, it's fine. You can drive.
Maybe just because I was afraid of it. It's just like, if he was like, come with me if you want to live, I guess I'd be pretty scared.
You'd be like, no, let me drive?
Yeah, right.
I don't think so. I don't like autonomous driving.
Right.
I'll take care of this. Well, that's a thing. Well, we can get it. That's a real special use case. That's not something everybody's going to be facing.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So Apple, apparently, they're working on their own self-driving car thing. I know Google is, a bunch of other companies are, but Apple is too.
So you can have a self-driving car for about $1,000 more than everybody else with their other self-driving cars.
I think what you actually mean is 1,000% more. It's not going to be $1,000
Well,
more.
yeah, I guess in the car world, that's not a big deal. But you get the joke I was making.
I do. So here's what apparently Apple, they just filed a patent for. Think about this, Hudson. You're in the car, you're driving to work. Well, now you've got all this free time.
Yeah.
And who the heck wants to spend that time just watching the scenery go by? So Apple has filed a patent for a virtual reality system that will go inside your car while you're driving. So now you've got a robot taking you somewhere, you don't know where.
Yeah, right.
And eventually you'll be alerted to the fact that you have arrived while you're playing something in the virtual world.
I feel like of course, on the surface, that seems like it could be fun. I feel like with self-driving cars, how far away are we from, like, not only do you not have to drive, you don't even have to pay attention because the robot is completely trustworthy. Well, you know what I mean? You have to still pay attention. Who knows what the robot's going to do?
I think that's what it's what it's about. Like, people are just like, hey, I don't want to have to do anything mundane. So the idea of like, hey, I want to be entertained. We've already got people, if you think about it, you've already got people in their car staring at their phone while they're driving.
Right.
I see it every morning. I see people reading Kindles while they drive, like all kinds of stuff. So Apple's just looking at that going, hey, people don't like to drive. They want to do something fun. So instead of a device that, you bring into the car with you, what if we turn this into a Martian landscape? Or what if we turn it into, on and on and on and on. So
maybe, I don't know. What if there's a different application for this? What if they just turned all cars into virtual reality, but it was like a game
where you're driving a car?
And it was, and you like interacted with all the other cars, and it was all about being safe. No, the game could be anything. It could be you're like on a Martian landscape, and you're like zooming through the rocky surface of Mars, but you're trying to avoid stuff, just like when you're in a car, you need to avoid the obstacles and make sure you drive as safe as possible. So what do you think?
In other words, maybe you're contributing to what's happening. Like the car, you're technically driving the car. You just think that you're driving it across a Martian landscape. Right. But instead of avoiding a rock, you're actually avoiding another car.
And you're more motivated to drive safer that way.
That goat farm is looking more and more likely every day. It's the worst of the Riot.
So I had plans to go see Ready Player One yesterday, and they fell apart.
Still haven't done it, huh?
You know what, dude? It just came down to, and maybe this was or wasn't the right call. I don't know. But I was just hacking and coughing, and I was sick, and I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want somebody that was in the physical condition I'm in right now to come and sit next to me at the movies.
That's fair. That's definitely fair.
I would not want that. And so I really thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. So the thing that was tough is I drove over to the movie theater because I had to get a refund. I bought the tickets through an app.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't get my money back unless I physically went over there. And I had to be there before the movie started in order to get my money back. And
the money back on your movie pass?
No, it wasn't. That was not. I had bought. Yesterday was a $5 Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
And I bought tickets for a couple of people.
Oh, okay.
And so I had to buy them all. Right. No, if it was Movie Pass, I would have been like, oh, well, I'm not going to make it. But no, I had actually purchased tickets. So I went back, got my refund. And as I was standing there and I had the ticket and the movie started in like 20 minutes, I was like, dude, what is principle? Principles are nothing. Compromise your principles. Get in there and watch the movie. Come on.
You were there anyways.
Somebody else got you sick. Get someone else sick. What are you doing? Come on. Get some popcorn. Watch the movie. And I didn't. I backed down on it.
No,
so,
man.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like this is surprising to me. Like, that seems like a movie that's made for you, and it's just crazy that you haven't seen it yet after 4 days or whatever.
But, dude, don't you know that, and I don't know if you're this way or not, but sometimes the more obviously something is for me, the longer it takes me to get around to it.
Yeah. Or, like, if it's obviously for you, then it's like, well, then I'm definitely not going to like it.
Yes.
You know?
It's that oppositional defiance disorder stuff where they're like, hey, we got you this thing, it's perfect. And you're like, I hate it.
Yeah.
And I don't want it.
You don't know me.
And I don't like you. And I don't like all these people. Shut up and quit looking at me. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I didn't quite experience that with Ready Player One, but for whatever reason, I was supposed to go Friday, didn't happen. Supposed to go yesterday, didn't happen. Maybe tomorrow?
Maybe. I'm still hoping I can get to see it this week, too, like getting done here so much earlier than normal.
Right.
It'd be nice, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
It doesn't always work out.
No.
Like, it feels like it should, but it doesn't always work out.
I mean, I'll say with my movie pass, it hurts me that I haven't probably used it. It's getting close to a month now. And part of that is until Ready Player One, the movies for the last little while have not been all that interesting.
No, so you're wrong. You're wrong, Hudson. There was Tomb Raider. There was Pacific Rim. What was it? Not Death Therapy. We're about to play Death Therapy. What was it?
Death Wish.
Death Wish.
Are any of those over 50% on Rotten Tomatoes? I mean,
I can't
not
imagine
the criteria.
I can't imagine a world where they are. All right, let's look at Tomb Raider. Because I actually had Rotten Tomatoes open.
Yeah, where'd it go?
Why am I spelling it Tob Raider? That's not going to be it. Okay.
49%. Right around 50.
So, you know what? Technically, the answer to your question is still no. I know Pacific Rim can't be over 50%.
44%.
And I'll bet Death Wish is at like 12%.
Oh, yeah. It's not even on this list.
8%. They're just like, don't even put it on the list. That's how bad it is.
The Riot.
They hate me. They hate you. They hate us.
Why else would they make us listen to the worst of the Riot? Radio U.
Rotten Tomatoes. It's the only way to determine what films to watch. There's no other metric. I refuse. If it has less than 90%, I won't watch it. That's not true.
No, that's obviously not true for you.
I watch hey, man, you can take swipes all you like. I don't understand why I like bad movies. I just do. I like watching people try. And I also like, I don't know. There's just this element of like, yeah. This is not good, but I like it.
Sometimes just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. When it comes to movies.
That's the tagline. I think that'd be a great Riot liner. Yeah. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good.
Right.
Well, I need to write that down for later. But
let's save it.
So coming out this weekend is A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
And it is currently sitting at 100%. On Rotten Tomatoes.
And that's out of, 55 reviews, it looks like?
Yeah, that's
pretty good. It's not like 2 people. It's 55 critics have said A Quiet Place, thumbs up.
So I thought it was interesting. It's starring John Krasinski, who is Jim from The Office. Yeah. And not only is it starring him, but he co-wrote it and he directed it.
I just saw that too. Like, I learned a lot when I saw this pop up. Because at first, I mean, I didn't know that he directed it. I didn't know who directed it. But I also learned that Emily Blunt is in this movie.
Tell me who you thought she was.
Not Kristen Wiig. I really thought it was Kristen Wiig in the trailer. And I've seen the trailer a ton of times, and I didn't realize this until this moment.
What I think is funny is that I did not. I had a very similar occurrence. I never thought that Emily Blunt and Kristen Wiig looked alike until this trailer.
Yeah. In the other movies I've seen Emily Blunt in, maybe looking back now, maybe it's like, yeah, they kind of have a similar face, but I never was like, wow, she really looks like Kristen Wiig.
I know. I've never thought that either, but you're absolutely right. This trailer sells that idea to me. Like they're not the same person, but they look a lot alike.
I remember seeing the trailer the first time. I was like, wow, that's a surprising term for Kristen Wiig. I mean, I believe she could do something serious, but...
Hey, comedic performers are often excellent dramatic performers.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Like, no real surprise maybe there, but 100% currently. The thing I get frustrated with Rotten Tomatoes is I was watching yesterday, all of these people are like, I'm going to hate on the first person that gives it below or whatever. Whoever breaks the perfect record at 100%, they're the worst person ever. Yeah, not really. That's the internet culture that I'm really not a fan of.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because let's be honest, does any movie really deserve a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes? Any movie that is made that everyone likes, you should immediately start to wonder.
Yeah, you have to be skeptical of it. But I always, with Rotten Tomatoes, I always want people to remember that rating, it's out of 55 people, all 55 gave it a thumbs up as opposed to a thumbs down. It's not 100% like 10 out of 10.
Right.
It's not a rating. It's just how many people liked it as opposed to not liked it.
Yeah,
which is still impressive.
Yeah, no, it is. Like it's not an aggregate score. So like you don't have 55 people giving it a 10-point score,
right? And
then they're averaging that out. That's actually what Metacritic is.
Right.
If you go look at Metacritic, that would give you that kind of score. But no, it's sitting at 100% now. And then what else is out? I think that's the only thing that's out this weekend. And then next weekend, you've got Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, I'm really interested in that.
And the thing that kills me is Hudson wants to see Rampage.
I do. And I don't like The Rock.
You can look down your nose at me on Pacific Rim and Tomb Raider, and yet Rampage you're giving a pass to?
There's just run-of-the-mill bad movies, and then there's like, it's bad, but it could be entertaining. And I just have a strong feeling about Rampage that it's bad, but it'll be entertaining.
Well, you know, the people that made it have a strong feeling because they put it out in April instead of March.
Yep.
So, and they're not strong enough to face the Avengers because when they moved the Avengers up, they moved Rampage up 2 weeks.
Right.
Leftovers from the most disgusting meal you've ever had. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
You know, I should be excited. Hudson, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Click Riot 1 over there and find The Hobbit for me because we need to talk about The Hobbit.
Let's do it.
Should have done this before.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry
what are you
that you guys are all having to see this
Hold
now.
on. There's a lot of them here.
You know, wait, go to 2. Go to 2, and it's real big.
Okay. Oh, here. No, it's not big, but here it is. Here we go.
There we go. Okay. Now we can talk about it. Sorry, everybody. So, you know, The Hobbit came out 6 years ago. Yep, it was 6 years ago. It'll be 6 years ago in December. And to celebrate, there was all kinds of merchandise tie-in crap. And I participated in the merchandise tie-in crap. Because I was excited. Because it was like, hey, it feels like Lord of the Rings is kind of back. So, woo, Hobbit. So I went to Denny's, and I ate their Hobbit menu.
Oh, yeah.
No, it was a thing.
I remember that.
It was the thing. I was excited about going to Denny's for the Denny's Hobbit menu.
Yeah.
And I got everybody to go, and we were all really pumped. And I think we might have listened to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack on the way. We did everything to prepare ourselves for the Hobbit. Well, they're doing it again.
Oh, are they really? Denny's?
And I've got to be honest, I really don't have a good attitude about it. I don't know why I was so okay with them doing it with The Hobbit, but they're going to have a Han Solo Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
And I think I'm just like, I'm out. I'm not doing it. I don't want it.
What's the special menu? What's special about it?
Well, I mean, it's all their food. They just kind of put it into like themed meals. So the co-reactor, the blaster fire burger, the light speed slam.
So they just changed the names.
And the 2 Moon skillet. Well, in some cases, but in other cases, they're actually new.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, I think they still had them, but for The Hobbit, I remember It was a new item. It was like their deep fried velvet.
Yeah, the
something.
red velvet or something.
Yes,
I remember
it was
that.
a new menu item that they started on the Hobbit menu, as I recall, and then it once that was over, they still had it.
Right.
So now they want you to come and have like a Wookiee burger. I gotta tell you.
I wonder if that would be good.
Okay, first off, is it any good? That's the thing that I really need to know. But you know what? I think I'm tired of hearing about Star Wars. I think I'm tired of it.
I feel like actually this movie is unique because they haven't talked about it as much. At least I just haven't seen as much about it.
I agree with you. It's true. And like what? When the first one came out, like episode 7.
Oh my gosh! For 3 months ahead of time, you couldn't go anywhere.
I mean, I got a can of like Campbell's chicken noodle soup, and I don't know. I can't remember. There was a character on it, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, there's something about this, the Solo movie at Denny's. I'm like, you guys have gone too far.
Yeah.
That's enough.
It just, I mean, I don't know if it's lazy or smart on their part. Like, it's kind of lazy, but at the same time, it's like, hey, we don't have to do any new food. We don't have to do anything, and we already have a marketing campaign. Just rename some of the items, and then we can do commercials.
So it's like Taco Bell, where it's just like, hey, we came up with a new food item.
Yeah.
What we're actually doing is just mixing existing items, but hey, it's new. Put it on the commercial.
It works.
All right, whatever. But there's the deal. You got brand new Solo, like Star Wars burgers at Denny's, and I'm out. I'm the nerdy kind of guy. I led the charge on the Hobbit Denny's menu.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, this one I'm just like, no.
What if they did a different one where a different promotion where you just had to go to Wendy's or Denny's on your own?
Dude, you just want to go to Wendy's.
The Riot.
Apparently, some of the less athletic types go nuts for this stuff.
Radio U.
So I'm over here worried about the Wookiee burger, and Hudson says to me, yeah, but have you seen the yodeling kid? He says the entire internet is talking about it.
It's everywhere.
So how did I miss it?
I don't know.
How am I, because I am obviously missing something, because I didn't know about the KFC chicken thing.
Yeah.
And now I've missed the yodeling kid.
There's some kind of source you're not following.
All right, Hudson, educate me. Let's hear it.
The source for the important news. Here it is. I'm sure. Just to be clear, this is in a Wal-Mart.
Of course it is. Where else would it be?
Piggly Wiggly.
Okay.
That would
fair
fit
enough,
also.
Fair enough. See, here's the problem. That somebody needs to pull that kid aside and tell him to stop. And instead, everyone's standing around encouraging him.
They're watching him. They cheer at the end.
This is how we end up. This is where country music comes from. A bunch of people that didn't speak up at an important time in people's lives. And now there's a whole genre of music that exists because somebody didn't say, stop it, you're in trouble. That's how you get country music, guys.
You know what's going to happen?
What?
This kid is going to go on...
The Voice? American Idol?
I was going to say America's Got Talent.
Okay, all right.
I mean, he's on Ellen probably as we speak right now.
I'm sure that's true. That's what they're doing right now.
This kid is... Not only did he not get shot down, he's being encouraged by some of the highest levels.
First off, Ellen's not the highest level.
It's a high level.
It's a high level.
Aaron Cole mentions that he wants to be on Ellen.
He does. That's true. That I'll give you that. That's true. But I feel like if Ellen has him on, pull him aside and be like, "Listen, you've got a great voice, but that music sucks.
Use it for something else." And we'll see how his voice is after it changes. This kid is like 10 years old, so
right. So
he's not going to hit these high notes.
Well, no, but he'll transform. He's going to start singing about his truck any minute now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's where this is headed.
That's what's too bad. Like this is one thing. But if he continues a trajectory into country music, it's going to get much worse.
Yeah, that's why I feel like, you know what? Like maybe we have him on and we talk to him like, hey, listen, it's time for you to use that voice for good.
Everybody else is telling you all these things, but listen, we're the only ones that are going to be straight with you.
And they're going to tell you that we're haters, but we're not. We're truth tellers, and we want to help you find a better genre than what you're involved in right
outlet.
now. All right?
You're hearing it for the first time, and it sounds terrible.
It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Anybody here care about Reddit? I mean, I brought it up a little while ago. Reddit's that thing that I don't care about it, and yet at the same time I still look at it.
Yeah, I go there every once in a while.
Mostly for subreddits, and here's where it's going to get super nerdy in here is, I don't know if you know this, but when I start talking about virtual reality, no one cares. So I visit the Oculus subreddit to see other people that like it and read about it.
That's the thing about Reddit is if there's something that you think nobody else cares about, there's somebody on Reddit that cares, and it's not that hard to find them. So then you have somebody you can talk about. Or talk with about the thing you like. Then
you almost have to ask yourself, is something that normalizes my aberrant behavior a good thing?
Yeah, right.
Maybe it's not. Maybe just like that guy that was yodeling, I needed someone to pull me aside and be like, son, you don't need no stinking virtual reality headsets in your house. Now get out there and chop wood or something. So, I don't know. Drive a monster truck. Be a man! But Reddit has, for like 1% of the Reddit population, they have just pushed an update that will give you a completely different layout. You can actually choose from 3 different layouts. And they say that it is probably the most significant change they've made in, I don't even know how many years, but like a really long time. Mm-hmm. And I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, so, I was just going to say, I just went and looked, and still looks the same to me.
Looks the same. So, Hudson, that means that we're not top 1%ers.
Definitely not. We're not the important Reddit people, which makes sense. I don't even have an account. Yeah, I just go there sometimes.
I was going to say, in reality, not only have I never posted, that's because I don't have an account.
Yeah.
And every time I check it on my phone and they're like, you should really install the app.
Yeah, I'm like, not a chance.
Nope, I'm not. No thanks.
That's just going to encourage me to go back to this site more often, which is not what I need.
I don't know. Like every once in a while, I stop in, like I said, for a couple of topics. I hit a couple of subreddits.
But that's like every once in a while for a few topics is okay. Once you make an account and you start posting, you start checking it daily, and then you start voting on stuff. It's just a whole rabbit hole you can get down, and it's not a good situation. And
that's a good call. And Reddit didn't introduce me to the yodeling guy, so
no. I'm sure you would have seen it if it was.
What is it worth? What is it worth to me? Nothing. You're dead to me, Reddit. Well, maybe that's a little strong, but still, you can have new color palettes and everything.
Wow.
They're going to roll it out to all users pretty soon.
I have really actually thought, like, in the few times I go to Reddit, that, like, it does look outdated. It doesn't look like a current internet website. No, but that's kind of part of the charm.
You think so? It's very 2005.
Yeah.
Which may be the last time they updated it.
For Craigslist, it works. Like, they never needed to make it more than anything it was. And I feel like Reddit is kind of along that same lines. Like, it's not about the design.
Right.
It's about the people.
But what if...
the crazy people.
But see, what happens is that means that everybody that's been using it since 2005 loves it and feels like it's classic, but they're not attracting new users.
Right.
That's a huge problem.
Yeah.
So they're like, hey, we need to make this accessible to the young peoples because we need them to come in because the old Redditors are dying off. They're almost 20 years old now.
You know what they should do? Introduce Reddit stories.
That's what That's
what they need to do.
That's the answer.
Yeah.
That's the answer. They'll revitalize it, and it'll give you a chance to share everything with everybody all the time.
Their last 24 hours.
Man, I wish they would have thought of that.
Worst of the riot, not enough? Not enough. Check the blog and all things Riot at riot.radiou.com.
Oh, Hudson, here it is.
All right, you want to know the real challenge?
I already know what you're going to say.
What?
You're going to say, well, hang on just a second. You're going to say the real challenge would be to not do it. Because you've been trained to do it.
No, I was just going to say the real challenge would be to do it and then to still talk about what we were going to talk about and stay focused on the pre-planned topic that we had instead of starting to talk about this again.
Nikki and
That's the challenge.
Nikki and I already do that. It's you being here that has added to the meta commentary. Nikki and I now, we just do the claps and keep going.
Right.
So are you ready to graduate?
Let's go.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm focused. I'm ready. I can just clap and move on.
All right, it's fine. Let's talk about earthworms. See, there was a time where this studio was a place where we ate food and food made sense.
Yeah.
Okay? Food made sense. But if you were with us during the spring fundraiser, you would know that there are times when food makes no sense. So, for example, we were sitting in here and we had Battle of the Bugs.
Yes.
With a G. And all of us have eaten bugs. I ate a cricket. Hudson, what did you have?
I had a worm.
You had a word.
It was like not like a earthworm though. It was like a thin, like a grub type looking.
Yeah, it was a grub.
Yeah,
you took the worst of it. Like that was the worst choice.
Now that I've thought of that, like that I ate a grub, now that gives a whole new meaning to Grubhub that I don't like.
You're not in.
No,
I'm out.
Sorry, it's DoorDash or bust for me.
It's pretty disgusting. And Hudson's like, no, I got this. I'm fine. Whatever. He totally ate it.
Yeah.
Nikki ate a cricket, and did she have another cricket? What was the other thing she had? Because she was the one that ended up with the second bite.
Maybe she had another cricket.
Okay.
I don't remember now.
All right.
I wiped that from my memory because it was too painful.
Well, how about this? Over at Boing Boing, they're like, hey, look what we're starting to get as ads on Walmart.com. And apparently Walmart sells earthworm jerky.
Oh, come on.
No, it's there. It's
Who's going to buy that? Besides, like us when we're doing a stupid thing for the fundraiser. Who's actually going to buy it?
Maybe you, Hudson. That was my question. Look at this. No colors or preservatives, grilled and oven dried. So they've taken
That's
earthworms.
really basically what we had. Like our things were dried out. They were
my
dehydrated.
thing is, if you're going to make
it's
jerky,
the same company.
Is it?
I think it is.
Okay. Because
Wow.
I'll just tell you this right now. What I really, really want is if I'm going to have earthworm jerky, that thing needs to be salty.
Yeah.
Just really salty.
I feel like earthworm jerky would be much easier to handle than what we did.
You think so?
I think so.
Like maybe you'd be able to convince yourself because of the consistency. Like it's just like beef. I like it. Maybe that.
The problem with that though, like they're saying jerky, so that means like you've had jerky, you know, you gotta like chonk on it a little bit.
You gotta really work that.
And I had to do that with the worm too, but there was like 2 bites and then I could swallow it. With the earthworm jerky, like if it's jerky, then you gotta like.
You'd have to work it.
Yeah, I don't want that. I do not want that.
All right. So, like, the reviews on it are not very good. I can tell you that. But mostly people are unhappy with the quantity that they got in the container.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which,
You didn't get your money's worth of the earthworm jerky.
Well,
I was expecting to be snacking on this for days. Instead, it was gone in 2 minutes.
It could be. Like, when I look at it, I'm just thinking to myself that you have to charge a lot for this because you're not selling a lot.
Yeah.
That's the only way that this business model is remotely acceptable is if, you know, you're really making a lot of money every single purchase. And that seems to be the case because they've got, how much is this, $15?
What?
Huh. You know what?
That's
Maybe
crazy.
I might be looking on the wrong thing, but that's.
I mean, based on what we had to pay for our bugs that we ate.
The Amazon
I
listing.
can believe that.
You know what? It's not. It shows it's not available right now. There's
popular.
You can buy yourself a Black Forest scorpion for $20.
Okay,
this is edible, by the way.
Right.
Or an armor tail scorpion for $14.99. So,
well, obviously the armor tail is a better deal.
Yeah, obviously.
Why would anybody buy the Black Forest? Although that sounds better.
Yeah,
like if that's like a Black Forest ham or whatever.
Yeah, the other thing that they're not taking into consideration here is I can get a Caniac combo for I think it's $7.99.
Yeah.
It might be $8.99.
Oh yeah,
that is 6 chicken fingers, 2 sides of fries, and I got to add a little extra honey mustard because that's a lot of chicken fingers. But I mean, as long as they're selling stuff like that for $9, it's going to be pretty hard to get me to go in for the earthworm jerky.
Oh yeah, tough sell.
I mean, it's rough. Guess we'll just have to wait for the forthcoming apocalypse when things change.
Your morning, but without yelling, laughing, or music.
Don't deprive me of that.
We wouldn't dream of it. It's The Riot on Radio U.
So I've got a cold now, which I'm super excited about. I was like, yes. So I went home yesterday, and I was like, this is great. I'm sick, so I got some free time. I'm going to play some Xbox. I was like, no, I can't. Like, I started to play Far Cry, and the room started to spin.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, forget this. And then this morning, you have to ask yourself the question, what am I going to take? Should I take something going to work, or should I go in blind and just endure? And so last night, I stopped by the grocer.
Okay.
And went to the pharmacy.
Okay. The apothecary.
The apothecary. Man, guys, you got a guest host that can say apothecary.
I love apothecary.
There. Yeah.
There's some words that have gone by the wayside that need to come back, and that's one of them.
Apothecary.
That's definitely one.
I stopped in at the apothecary there at the grocer, and I was going down the cold aisle. Man, that is the biggest racket. One of the biggest rackets in the entire grocery store. I mean, everything is selling you whatever. This is so nerdy, but I do this. I start grabbing stuff and looking at active ingredients and amounts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, look, how much is in this and how much is in this? And what is what? And last night I saw something where I just feel like NyQuil, they have gotten to a point where they don't know how to market themselves in the internet world now. And they're just like, all right, man, we've had NyQuil, like advanced strength, we've had NyQuil maximum strength, we've had double strength, and now we've got NyQuil severe.
Oh, no.
Like, just like the tornado, it's severe. And that's exactly what it was. NyQuil severe. And I looked at that, and what's funny is my attitude looking at it, I was like, you know what? That might actually be too much. I don't know if this is severe.
Yeah.
The other thing they did that like waved me off is that it's NyQuil cold and flu.
Okay.
And I looked at it and I'm like, well, but I don't have the flu.
Yeah.
I just have the cold. Do you have NyQuil cold? They don't just have NyQuil cold. They have NyQuil cold and flu. And I was like, well, do you have NyQuil not extra strength? Like, I get a straight NyQuil? And they were like, NyQuil advanced symptom. Or I made that up, but it sounded real.
I would have believed it.
So I ended up landing on NyQuil cough, which is the same active ingredient that you find in Delsum.
Okay.
But then it also had a decongestion in it. And so I got that. So it only had 2 active ingredients.
This is crazy to me that you're the first person that I've ever heard that would actually be like, well, this sounds like it's too much of a medicine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the reason they have those is because they used to have just NyQuil, and they would have NyQuil maximum strength.
Max strength, yeah.
And people would go like, well, I mean, nobody would go in and say, I have a cold, but I'll just take a little bit. I'll just take the lighter formula. They're like, I need to get rid of this now. I need maximum strength. Give me the top amount allowable, the most active ingredient you can.
Well, dude, NyQuil, they're done doing that, Hudson.
Yeah.
Now it's severe. And I had the same thought that you did, because like most people want, like, I want you to burn a hole in my throat with this medicine. Like, I want you to tear the cold out of me.
Either this needs to instantly heal me, or I should be dead from this medicine.
And so I get what you're saying, but I swear to you, this is my thought. I'm like, okay, I have to get up and be on the radio tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what I actually want, I actually do want, like, I've got to wake up and I've got to at least be kind of awake.
Right.
So if I can get by with a little less, I'm going to take that little bit of less there.
That's good
right
thinking.
There. So I was kind of trying to figure it out. And when I'll just tell you, I did not buy NyQuil Severe, because when I saw Severe, I was like, that right there is too much. I'll sleep for 3 days.
Yeah.
And again, I know some people are looking for that, but man, guys, Nikki's on vacation. I got to get in here and hold it down with Hudson. So I skipped the Severe and found NyQuil cough.
Can you imagine, like, you call into work and you're like, so, like, I need to take a day off. And it's like, are you sick? Well, I was sick, but actually the problem is I took too strong of medicine and I'm asleep now.
Man,
like, I just can't come in. The medicine I took was too strong.
NyQuil Severe, it knocked me out, dude.
The Riot's future, 2 words. Goat Farm. RadioU.
And I'd love a good donut right now.
I'm hungry.
Are you really?
I haven't had anything yet.
Well, I told you what I had for breakfast.
Yeah.
It's the complete breakdown in my brain. I'm telling you, man, NyQuil Severe, which I didn't drink, and yet I feel like it still got into me. Just encountering at the store, the power was coming off of it. Because I stopped at a gas station and ate gas station breakfast sandwiches for the first time in almost a year.
You know what's weird? I feel like I know you had your breakfast sandwiches. I know we played some throwback music, but I feel like we haven't. Like, I feel like a lot of times when I fill in for Nikki and she's not here, like, you have a little less of a conscience and we do some, like, weirder stuff. Like, we go get donuts and whatever. Like, we haven't really done that. We've stayed pretty by the book, mostly.
Well, what do you want to do?
I don't know. We haven't had any taste tests. We haven't eaten anything. I mean, you do that when Nikki's here, too, but we just seem to be a little more antsy to do that kind of stuff.
Well, you know what? Part of it, like, for real, might just be that I'm sick.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be completely honest. Like, I drug myself out of bed and into the car this morning where it was just like, man, come on. The drugs are not working, guys. But when I was at the grocery store last night, I was actually looking around for something to taste test.
Yeah.
In addition to all of the drugs I was, sampling.
Right.
And Hudson, that's where you do a fill.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to say. Sorry.
Okay.
You were in the middle of a story.
I was in the middle of a story. You're right.
A weird place for me to jump in.
So I couldn't find anything. The only thing that I found that I had never seen before was in the cast off Easter candy thing.
Oh, yeah.
Was M&M's peanut butter eggs, but they were essentially
that seems lazy.
It was a peanut butter M&M, I guess, that was egg shaped.
Right.
So to me, I looked at that and I'm like, you know what? You guys don't deserve a taste test for that.
No, definitely
you don't
not.
deserve it. So forget that. And I looked through candy, and I mean, I didn't go through every aisle. Like maybe I should have hit the cereal aisle or something, but I did not see anything out there where I was like, what?
I kept an eye out when I was at the store yesterday. Hey, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know, and I don't know if it's at a store near us, but there's supposed to be chocolate peanut butter Yoo-hoo. Now, what do you think about Yoo-hoo?
I don't like it.
Me neither.
It is it tastes like chocolate water.
It amazes. Yeah, I think that's what it is, and it amazes me that Yoo-hoo is still around.
Like who drinks Yoo-hoo?
I don't know.
Not me.
My brother really likes Yoo-hoo.
Oh man. Was your brother was it one of those things where
he's the problem child?
Your parents had there's something wrong with him and your parents have to decide whether or not they're going to tell him and burden him with the knowledge,
right,
or just try to pretend like he's normal. That's your brother?
Yeah, we've all been. Yeah,
he's the one that drinks Yoo-hoo, so obviously.
On eggshells around him that we don't everybody in his life. They don't want to let him know that Yoo-hoo. There's a problem with that.
He's like, this is the best stuff. It sure is. And there's nothing wrong with you. Keep drinking it. You're fine. Oh, it's the best. No, I would taste test that.
I would too if we found it.
Did you find out, in the article, to say where it was?
Let's take a look. Hold on. I see we weren't prepared. I wasn't prepared to talk about this, but we just got into the food thing as we so often do. So hold on. Let's
somebody
see.
Somebody spotted it on store shelves. The impulsive buy at Twitter is the one who found it.
It was spotted.
They say at Walmart.
Walmart, so it could be nearby.
Yeah.
Now, this is what is interesting. I didn't even I don't know. I just saw this and it was like a weird drink, so maybe it's something interesting. But now that thinking about it more, I've often thought it's strange, but I get it that there's never been peanut butter drinks. Because chocolate peanut butter seem to go hand in hand. I guess there's chocolate peanut butter, you can do a mocha, at a Starbucks or something, or hot cocoa, but
I don't think it's very good. I've had peanut butter soda before.
Oh,
because,
really?
Yeah, we had peanut butter and jelly soda. Chris went to one of those novelty candy soda places.
There was a peanut butter and jelly soda that sat in the fridge for a long time.
Yeah, well, that was number 2 of the one that we tried, and you'll notice that it stayed in there for a long time.
It was, yeah.
So I mean, it was not very good. So. I can't imagine that Yoo-hoo, they finally cracked it.
Right.
They're like,
they
man,
haven't
this
cracked
is
the
it.
formula.
This is the one. Obadiah's going to be in now. We won't just be selling stuff to Hudson's brother. Everybody's getting some right now. Oh, look at that. Tim says he likes Yoo-hoo. Oh, Tim, your parents didn't tell you either.
No, they didn't.
That's a bummer.
Your whole family.
But you know what? I'm sure you're fine. I'm sure it's totally fine. Chris says you can taste test different bacons.
Nikki and Obadiah. Obadiah and Nikki.
Love, hate, hate, love.
All right, everyone in, let's go. It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
So Hudson and I are trying to think of a good taste test option for tomorrow. So here's some of what we've come up with. Could Hudson tell the difference between store brand Mountain Dew and regular Mountain Dew? Now keep in mind, it's not the most amazing thing we've ever thought of, but it's not bad.
Right.
We thought about taking 3 different coffees. Really expensive coffee.
Yep.
Very medium coffee.
Yeah.
And then Folgers.
Maxwell House. And
Maxwell House I think is the worst.
I think so too.
The worst.
Maxwell House is really bad. There's another one that's really bad. Folgers is bad, but there's another one that's just horrible, and I can't remember what it is.
I think Maxwell House smells bad when you just open the container.
Yeah.
Because we had, at one point, one of the things we have at RadioU is we always have coffee. So, if you want to make coffee, it's not fancy coffee, but it's coffee. And we have, right now, it's Dunkin' Donuts, which I like.
I was actually, I thought while you were talking that Dunkin' Donuts is the other one that I just hate.
Really?
I hate Dunkin' Donuts.
No.
I hate Panera, and I don't like Maxwell House or Folgers.
No, see, to me, Maxwell House is the hate space. That's the hate space.
Yeah.
Because we had Maxwell House for one container of it. And I actually went to the office manager that kind of gets us coffee, and I was like, hey, I'm very appreciative that you guys provide us with coffee, but could we please never buy this again?
Please don't do this to us.
Please never buy this again.
Don't put us in this situation.
And it took us forever to get through the Maxwell House. I think at some point someone just threw it away.
Yeah.
Because it was the worst. Even the smell, like when you'd open the container, it was like,
Yeah, when you smell coffee, like everybody should smell it and be like, yes, this is great.
Oh, this is wonderful. This smells so good.
It's hard to screw up a coffee smell.
Well, they did it,
but Maxwell
guys.
House did it.
Congratulations, they did it. Now, the other option we were staring at is maybe going for some exotic food or even candy from like a place like World Market or an international grocery store or something like that.
Yeah, I've been missing Canada, so maybe if we could find some Canadian stuff, that would be cool.
Okay.
But nothing comes to mind initially. Have you ever had Shreddies?
Shreddies
the cereal?
No.
That would be a good one, but I don't know if that's something we're going to find.
Is that like a Canadian cereal?
It is a Canadian cereal.
Is it good?
And it is great.
Okay.
The other one that would be good, Canadian Corn Pops, which, again...
What's different about that?
Canadian
they taste
Corn
like maple?
Pops, no, they're more like Kix, kind of.
Okay.
Like, they're not... You know, the American Corn Pops, they're all waxy and, like...
Yeah.
They're, like, more like packing peanuts. Yeah. Like, Canadian Corn Pops are more like... They're kind of like, they have more the consistency of a cheese ball, you know, like that kind of fluffiness to it. So, and I really like them a lot.
Okay. Well, maybe we just need to take a field trip and go see what we can find.
Let's go see what we can find.
So there's that. Well, Ryan says, he just texted in from Midland. He says, hey, you guys should do the coffee taste test.
Yeah.
The only thing is, okay, all right, we know that like what the bottom of the barrel would be.
Right.
We would either do... Since you have so lowly esteemed the Dunkin' Donuts, which I actually enjoy, like that could be the bottom rung.
We could see if I really hate Dunkin' Donuts that much when I don't know that it's Dunkin' Donuts. But that's the whole thinking.
We would need like mid-tier and top tier.
Right. What will we go with?
Okay.
Like Seattle's Best, is that a mid-tier to you?
No.
That's high
it's
or low?
Not. It's
That's
low. Isn't that like $5 a thing?
I mean, anything that comes in a bag, I feel like, well, okay, not anything that comes in a bag. I'm sure they sell Folgers in a bag, but like once you get into, they don't sell it in a tin, they sell it in a bag, and it's a few more bucks than the Dunkin' Donuts bag.
I was going to say, by that argument, Dunkin' Donuts is a mid-tier coffee then. It's not a low-end coffee.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a tough call. So what is a mid-tier to you?
Like I would consider mid-tier to be a bag of coffee that costs between $12 and $15.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe even $10 and $15.
Okay.
Because to me, basically, I would say that like there's this $8 to $15 coffee range that to me is like a mid-tier where I don't frequently pay $15 for a bag of coffee.
Right.
I pay a little less than that, but I'm like, okay, like that's mid-tier.
Okay.
And
to me, the tiers are different. I guess to me, the low tier is just Maxwell House and Folgers and like store brand. And see, that's pretty much it.
I would put Seattle's Best, 8 o'clock coffee, and whatever down there.
Okay.
So, but then
I guess that's fair.
The mid range would be something when you're in like $8 or $9.
Okay.
And for that, I would put Starbucks in there,
Pete's
coffee in there. And I mean, of course, these are all grocery store coffees,
right?
But a grocery store coffee, it's not going to be on the high end. It's going to be in the middle, right?
So then we have to get like a local one at the top.
Maybe.
I don't know. This one feels like we need more thought to put into this.
I know, like,
and
because this is getting serious now. Like,
and if we do this, we don't want to do it wrong. We want to do it right.
All right. Well, all right. Like we gotta start thinking it through. We are thinking it through, but we're not done yet.
See, this is what we finally got antsy. We finally had to delve into some stuff we wouldn't normally do.
No, you got antsy. I'm ready to lay on the floor.
The Riot spent their entire advertising and promotion budget on catering and craft services.
The junk that guy eats has finally caught up with me.
So please tell your friends. It's The Riot on RadioU.
So here's the question that's floating around today that I don't think you'll have any trouble answering. But Hudson, I'm going to ask you anyway.
All right.
Because what if you have something to say? What if I'm underestimating what you might have to say on this subject?
All right.
I think I already know what you're going to say.
Yep.
But I don't know. So I don't want to say no for you.
Okay.
Okay? I don't want to say yes for you. I don't want to say maybe for you.
All right.
I want you to speak for yourself.
All right, I'm ready.
I'm going to spend the next 3 minutes talking directly at you about what I want you to not say or to say.
Okay.
Instead of giving you a chance to talk.
To it.
Yeah.
Never actually getting me a chance.
Okay, so they are saying that for some people, as they're logging into Facebook, and if you've ever done this where it's like Facebook, and it'll say like, good morning or good afternoon or whatever.
I always think that's weird.
Some people are getting a little thing at the top that says, do you want to take this survey? And the question that they ask you is Facebook good for the world?
Ooh. Wow.
Whoa.
They are like, can you imagine if a person was doing this? You know,
is Obadiah good for the world?
If you were asking other people, do you think I'm good for the world? Like, wouldn't that, like, you were just asking everybody? I feel like that people would start to feel like you're a little strange and desperate.
Okay, but that actually, think about it for just a minute. Like, I didn't even think about that. That's a great question to ask yourself. It is and isn't, because there may be days where you're like, no, I'm not good for the world.
Right.
But, in reality, we all have days where we need other people to come alongside us and help us. And that's okay. You can still be good for the world and need a little help today. That's all right.
That's okay.
Yeah. So...
No, just them asking it makes it feel like they're just kind of desperate to me. But
well, I feel like the answer is obviously no.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
The answer, but meaning that if you ask me that question, the answer is no.
Right.
So like when Facebook asks me, am I good for the world? I say no. That seems obvious, but I don't think the answer is necessarily that clear, because think about this. There have been good things that have happened because of social media.
That's true.
You've made connections with people.
Right.
Like people have found RadioU because of social media.
Sure.
Like think of all the different things we've used social media for that has been good. But then there are a lot of really bad things that have happened with social media.
Right.
So is it good for the world? I actually don't know the answer to that.
The term is net. Like overall, you can't add all the things together, the good stuff and the bad stuff, and like overall, net, is it good? And I'm going to still say no.
You're still going to say no.
Because I think
that it takes more from us than it gives.
Yes.
Okay. I think that might be fair. Might be fair.
I think it's probably, again, closer. I feel like even the people that use it a lot would probably lean towards no more often than not. But I think it's closer than a lot of people would think. Like,
yeah.
As much as I dislike Facebook, I don't think in its entire history it's been terrible for the world. I think the eventual trajectory of how Facebook has taken us is negative.
Yeah, I think it's been, if you think about it neutrally, social media as a tool, it hasn't been bad.
Right.
But anytime you give people a tool, they will misuse it.
Right.
Like, that's just a given.
And
like
And that's where it's tough. It's like, do you not even give it to them? Like, we have social media. Should we have never had it at all because eventually of all the people it hurts and all the things that it's done wrong and all the negative effects? Does that mean we should never have had it?
I don't know. The other question I have, too, is, it's still new. Like, look at human history. Like, social media is 10 years old, 15 years old.
Right.
I mean, like, I don't know how far back you want to take it, or
to MySpace or Yahoo
take
GeoCities.
I was going to say, do you go back farther than MySpace? Do you look at, what do they call them? What was that thing? IRC or something like there was people using the computer to connect in a certain way.
Right.
Like that goes really far back there. So I don't know. But my question is, moving forward, do we reach a point where we understand it better and use it better? So like right now, as society in general is still struggling to understand how to integrate it.
Yeah.
And as a result, it's wrecking some people and it's whatever.
Yeah.
But let's say somebody who's 2 years old now, who grows up and there is never a world without social media, will they, on some level between what we teach them and with their experience, will they innately use it better than we who have come into it at a different stage of life where we know life without it and life with it?
I feel like there's two different things there. I feel like somebody who's 2 years old now and only grows up with social media, like it's just going to be baked
completely
in,
screwed.
No, yeah. It's baked in. Like they're already going to whatever. Like the effects are already baked in. So is it good or bad, or like that? They just will never know. But the thing that separates us from, I feel like, from being able to use it properly is two things, and that's like having some checks on the social media companies, because we've seen like what can happen when Facebook just runs itself and takes as much data and whatever and doesn't take care of it. And then the other thing is, the big thing is us understanding the difference between having a different personality online and in real life, acting differently on social media than you would in real life, because I feel like that's where a large majority of the problems come from.
That's where it breaks down.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what? Facebook wants to know, and Hudson says you're bad.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
You're a genius, Hudson.